What's up guys, today I want to just make a quick video about the most useful information that a RuneScape player or a new RuneScape player can actually take advantage of. This video is going to be very much focused on new players getting into the game, nothing to do with like higher end players or anything like that, because you all will know all this sort of stuff. But for you guys getting into the game or maybe returning to the game, this should be pretty useful, and it is going to be a very basic, kind of straightforward, obvious sort of guide for people who have been around the game just for a little while, because we're just talking about the most useful sources of information in RuneScape. Anyway, if you find this useful, if you're a new player and you do find it useful and you want like this sort of stuff, then let me know in the comments. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here as well. But other than that, let's go. By the way, I just want to say this video can, I guess, kind of be sponsored by me. If you enjoy the music in the background of the video, they are all my own music. I have them commissioned and I own all of the rights to every single one of them. If you want to use them in any videos or anything like that in the future, if you just want to listen to them yourselves, then there is a link in the description to my music channel. Head over there, do subscribe to that channel to support me as well. There's a lot more music coming very soon for that channel, and it will be forever free to use for everybody and anybody whatsoever. Anyway, let's get to the video. Okay, so like I said, we are going to be talking about the most useful tools or the most useful sources of information for all RuneScape 3 players. These are the things that most brand new players may not know about yet because it's not built into the game and stuff, but they are things that are going to be incredibly useful. Now, it does have a little bit of a double-edged thing to it. People are going to have to find this video to be able to find the information, which is kind of part of the whole thing too, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. With that being said, the background footage is very likely just PVM background footage, so you can probably ignore that. I'll put some stuff on screen as examples of what I'm talking about though, so it's completely up to you if you want to just minimize or if you want to watch that stuff. Anyway, let's get started with the very first thing. The best tool for RuneScape, in my opinion, is the RuneScape Wiki. Now, this is technically kind of built into game a little bit, but many people won't know what the hell it is in the little wiki search bar in the bottom left corner of their screen. And also, the RuneScape Wiki is by far the biggest source of like information and details on everything and anything in game. And if you don't know about this, then hell, you are in for a treat. A brand new player who doesn't know about anything in the game will not know about the RuneScape Wiki. But this thing is incredible, and I know a lot of people don't use it or don't even have a clue it exists, because when I link it in streams and stuff, sometimes people are like, what the frick? And so of course the RuneScape Wiki is absolutely number one on this list. The RuneScape Wiki is an encyclopedia full of everything and anything for RuneScape 3. Any information that you require for this game, you'll probably and most likely be able to find it on this website. All you want to do to use the RuneScape Wiki, the best way in my opinion to use a wiki, isn't on the game client. You can do that if you want and it'll open a browser for you. Just have a browser open and just search whatever you want in game. So if you're wanting to look up like a chicken, a raw chicken or something like that in RuneScape, just an example, just literally search raw chicken and then put RS3 at the end. You want to look for the link that says RuneScape Wiki, not the old school RuneScape one, and then you want to click through to that, and on that page it will have everything and anything you need to know about the raw chickens. It will have everything in there. It'll tell you where you can buy it from. It'll tell you what monsters you can kill for it, and everything in here that has a link will be linked through to that as well. So for example, if you look at the raw chicken, and then it'll tell you what monsters will drop it, which will be a chicken, surprisingly. If you click on that link, it will then tell you all the locations of where that chicken is, because it will go through to the chicken page of the RuneScape Wiki. How many times am I going to say chicken in this freaking video? Holy crap. Anyway, this works for everything in game, not just the chickens, okay? It'll go for everything. So if you want to look up a weapon, it will go in there and it'll tell you where you can buy that weapon, how to fix that weapon, everything about a weapon that you need to know. And then it'll probably have something else as well, like the boss that drops that weapon. Then you can click on that and it'll tell you everything about the boss. Literally everything is on the RuneScape Wiki. You will have to do a little bit of reading, but it is set up in a really easy way, and there's literally links and contents pages on every single thing. They have quest guides, they have combat action bars, they have literally everything and anything that you could think of on here. They have perk like upgrade orders and stuff like that. It's basically everything RuneScape related you'll find in the RuneScape Wiki. So if you don't know about this for new players, then get yourself like familiar with it, because it will be a tool you use all the way to endgame. Trust me, endgame players still use the RuneScape Wiki probably every day. I use it like literally every single day as a content creator as well. So definitely keep this one in mind. So the next tool that is incredibly useful for new players to RuneScape, because there's not really much in game to tell you how to play, is this is the one I was talking about that was a little bit of like a double-edged thing, because you had to be here to know this one, but to know this one is important, and that is going to be YouTube guides and videos, of course. So if you maybe just saw this and you recommended, you're new to RuneScape, you searched up anything like, I don't know, beginner tips to RuneScape, or things that RuneScape players should know, I don't know, something like that, and this came up, maybe you are just getting into the game, and it is quite important to know that if you are looking for a guide on something, if you are looking for tips on stuffing, if you're wanting to learn about specific things in game, if you are wanting to learn like that, you can pretty much search anything on YouTube and you'll probably be able to find it for most things. So for example, if you're wanting to learn things that the wiki can't teach you, if you're looking for a DPS guide, you can find that, and there'll be some great content creators that will show you how to increase your DPS. I am not one of them, unfortunately. I do have a couple of DPS tips and tricks things, but for a full-on DPS guide, this is not me. If you are looking for something like specifically how you would go from 1 to 99 in a skill, there's content creators for that. If you're looking for things about how to like use money to do flipping and merching, all that sort of good stuff, there's also content creators for that. There's a lot of content creators that make different things, and because there's quite a few content creators, and there has been in the past as well, there is a lot of videos covering things that the wiki may not be able to teach you, because it's not just specific bits of information, but it's more detailed, in-depth stuff. For example, a boss guide, for example, will probably be better on YouTube than it would be on the wiki, because a boss guide is going to have somebody explaining to you how to deal with the mechanics and stuff. So definitely take a look at those and use those and take those to your advantage. Before you throw yourself at a boss for like dead-ended, just going at it and dying over and over again, check out some boss guides, see if there's any tips for those bosses as well. And then also, if you know that you're struggling with certain things, for example, your defensive abilities and understanding those, then you can look up a defensive guide, or for setting up your user interface, any sort of tips on that. There's plenty of videos on YouTube from content creators talking about how they set up their user interface, their keybinds, all that sort of good stuff. This is like, there's pretty much stuff for everything at this point. It is genuinely covered by many people in multiple different perspectives, and it is super useful to know about. But of course, like I said, you had to kind of be on YouTube to already find this video, so it kind of just, I don't know, maybe you would know what it is, but if not, then maybe this is your first video, who knows, it's worth mentioning anyway. Next up is something for pretty much just people wanting to get into PVM, people wanting to get into like bossing and all that sort of good stuff, and you are looking to actually improve quite a bit and not just do the basics and stuff. You are wanting to sort of lead your way into all that sort of good stuff, like getting you better gear, getting better at different bosses, understanding like the ins and outs, and finding other useful information and tips, and maybe even having people to ask questions to. This next thing is going to be the PVME Discord. The PVME is a PVM encyclopedia Discord server, which is incredibly popular, has a hell of a lot of members, and it is done incredibly well. There is a lot of guides in here, there's loads of different information that you can find in here, and if you are looking for information from some of the best PVMers in the game, this would probably be a good place to take a look and see what you can find in there. I will link it in the description below, and for people who are looking for things like gear upgrade orders, specifics and stuff, on what exactly is your next best buy and items and all that sort of good stuff, and maybe what abilities to use and rotations and boss guides and tips, all this sort of good stuff. They do have a lot of resources in there for you to use, and all of these are written by like top tier PVMers as well, so it is pretty useful, and there is sections as well where you can ask questions and all that sort of good stuff. But a lot of stuff is in here. There is a ton of stuff. It is organized pretty well, so you can find out what's going on and where certain things are, but take a look, it's definitely worth checking out. Following the PVME Discord, there is just regular good old random Discord servers, or even community servers. Community servers such as YouTube communities such as my own, there'll be a link in the description for that too. You can head down there and join that. There is great places, especially for casual players, more people just wanting to just take the game chill and casual and not really like the overly professional level playing and stuff like that. I just want to just chill and enjoy and play with other people. They're really good sources of information too, because you can go in there, you can ask questions to people, and you can get answers from people who are similar, like sort of like mind to you, and they've done it before, the same sort of rates and whatnot. You can definitely ask questions in those too. Now you can also find people to play with, do bossing with, do other things with, and just get involved in game with those people from that community Discord. Community Discords such as YouTube ones and stuff are definitely very, very cool and useful to get involved into, as there's quite a lot of people in there that are pretty much just the same sort of viewers as you. If you watch a YouTuber, say for example, if you watch my stuff, you would probably know that I'm pretty casual and chill with the way I do PVM and all that sort of good stuff. I'm not anywhere near a good PVMer. I'm pretty chill, pretty casual with it, and pretty average, but that's fine. But that also leads to a lot of the people in the Discord being around the same sort of level, because they consume that sort of content, and that's just the way it is. People are pretty casual in there, pretty chill, and if you are if you're not like a top end PVMer, you're not going to get judged for that. So that sort of thing, if you watch the certain content creator and they have a Discord, you can probably expect the same sort of response in there as well. At least that's from my experience. So If you're looking for that sort of thing, feel free to join my Discord. Feel free to, I would assume, go to other content creators' channels, and in their video links, I'm sure they'll have Discord links to theirs too. If they do, then obviously I'm sure you're welcome to join. If they don't, then I don't know, maybe you have to contact them. I have no idea how it all works from their end, but these are definitely sort of sources of information that you can also access and also get involved in the community a little bit. Next up is an in-game feature, which is pretty useful, but you probably won't be able to sort of join immediately as soon as you start playing, unless you know somebody already, like a friend. Then this is going to be a in-game clan. You can get clans in-game. They have up to 500 members in each, and this is a lot of players. 500 members in each clan is a hell of a lot of players, but basically what you're going to be looking at in here is being involved with a community of a lot of players that are like you. So what you are going to be looking for is, if you're a beginner player, you could be looking for a clan that caters towards helping beginner players. Or if you are a mid-level player, high-level player, you can join clans that are suited around you. Or you could just do the same as the last one. You could join a community clan such as my own. It is a completely community like guided based sort of thing. It's just if you want to join, you can join. That's pretty much it. And it's just to PVM with people, hang out with people, have conversations, all that sort of good stuff. There's no real pressure to do anything. All that, like, it's just is what it is. But getting involved in a community and being in a clan is really useful because you have that in-game information source immediately. If you can't find something on the wiki, if you can't find something on YouTube, you could literally just ask a question, or if you literally, it's just a quick, easy question that you just want the answer of and you're like, I can't remember what this is, you could just pop it into the clan chat and be like, hey guys, what's the best arrows to use it? So like, for example, and they'll reply saying, I use big arrows. Or what spell should I use of magic? And they'll tell you, well, I use Insight Fear or use this. So they'll check what gear you've got and then let you know from that. And that's a little bit like better. It's more personal as well. So if you have a question about what spell to use, for example, they will check what gear have you got, what are you working at, what are you doing at the moment, all that sort of good stuff, and it's kind of important too. So it's more personal, it's a lot better in some situations, and it's definitely worth getting involved into. So that is another source of information that you do have, another tool to your disposal, and also, to be honest, I would suggest getting involved in the clan while you are playing the game too. It's an MMO at the end of the day. It'll make your experience better in most situations. If you're in a clan that you're not enjoying, just leave, join another one, and hopefully you'll find a place that you enjoy to be in for a long-term time. For anybody watching this right now, it is kind of hard for me to get you guys into our clan. You're welcome to guest at all times. The clan is just called the Init. You're welcome to guest at any time. You can guest in clans for anyone not who isn't aware, and you can just talk in there as well. But we're not an actual member. But at the moment, there's no way for us to track the inactive members, so we are currently just full. Completely full, and we can't kick the people who are inactive because we don't know who is and who isn't. If that gets fixed, then of course we'll clear it up. But for anyone wanting to join, just in case quite a lot of people do come in, because people tend to when I do videos like this, you may just have to guess for a while until we can figure that out and sort that out. The final thing that I'm going to mention, one of the main sources of information and useful tools that you have to your disposal, is going to be friends chats in game. Very similar to clans, but friends chats tend to have a dedicated sort of goal. For example, if you're wanting to use something specific in game, like a mini game, there will probably be a friends chat dedicated to that, specifically to help you get in there and get involved with it and get it done. So these are really, really useful if you're wanting to do specifics in game. And there's a lot of friends chat set up to make your life way easier and more convenient. I'll link in the description a video that has all of the most useful friends chats, or when I did this, like some very useful friends chats. I'll link that in the description below. You can go check that video out if you want to use those. But that's probably the best thing to do there for me. Like, there's not much more for me to say on this. Friends chats will organize stuff and keep it nice and easy and organized for yourself to get involved with certain activities in game, and give you information like telling you what world certain events are on and all that sort of good stuff. Like I say, I'll link it below. You'll probably find it more useful that way, and it doesn't drag out the video any longer than it needs to at that point. Alright, that brings us to the end of the best tools that RuneScape players have at their disposal. Again, guys, this was for very new players, beginners to the game, people just getting started out, maybe returning to the game, who are kind of like, I wonder what I have access to, whether a new player or a returning player. Now, I know the reason I made this is because new players join the game, it's really, there's not a lot in game that helps you, like, there's not a lot of hand-holding whatsoever, which isn't a bad thing, because it allows you to play the game how you want to play it, but at the same time, some stuff because it's super confusing. You do lose quite a few players on the super confusing stuff too. And knowing about the wiki and knowing about YouTube guides and stuff, knowing about Discord communities and all that sort of good stuff is a very useful tool to have, and it makes life way better. Like when people get involved in these communities and stuff and have access to these things, they have a much better time playing the game, and that's very important. So that's why I wanted to make this video. And also I've had a few comments lately that have wanted the absolute basics of things, because people are getting started with fresh start worlds and stuff, I assume is probably where it's coming from. So I thought, you know what, we're going to make a very basic video talking about the absolute from scratch stuff you guys want to know about the wiki, about YouTube guides, about all this sort of stuff. And I suppose I kind of just feel like it's better for me to give people the information on how to find what they're looking for than just to make like 100,000 videos on each individual thing. I'll still make those videos, of course, when I think of the ideas and whatnot, but it's a good idea to give people the direction of where to look for this sort of stuff in the first place anyway. Anyway, other than that, I hope you all found this useful. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Channel members, your names will be on screen, of course. Thank you all so much for your extra support. It is always appreciated. You do get early videos, so I hope that you are enjoying that. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys.